Welcome. This video will be about the multi-line requisition, also called MLR. We will first have some slides for you to give you more information on the application, and then we will show you the demonstration. Now, with the multi-line requisition, the MLR, we can create more than one requisition in one process. We can search for existing multi-line requisitions we already processed. We can create an MLR template for reuse, meaning once we processed an MLR, we can save it as a template that we can reuse later if we want to procure or request the same items again. And we could process a request initiated in CusTrack. So with the M001 application, you can see a list of existing MLRs. You can filter by using the filter option, for example, by customer, different status, originator, and by originator we mean NDSS or, for example, CusTrack. So you can filter on the different subjects. You can create an MLR by clicking on the Insert button. After using the Insert button, we have to complete the header first of the MLR. That means we have to provide the customer or the PCH code. We can give it a priority. We can set the need by date either by priority or we can type in the date ourselves. We have some shipping notes we can provide and we have some notes we could enter. After this, you have to save it and then you can start adding stock numbers. To add a stock number, you have to save the header first. And then you go to the Insert button to add a line. Once you add the line, by double-clicking on the stock number line, you can customize the requirement even more into detail. Let's go to the demonstration and show you how the MLR process is done. So in NDSS, we go to the M, the multi-line requisition /due in. We open up and then we see some functionalities. We go to M001, multi-line requisition maintenance. Double click and it will open up the screen to start the process. Now, if I would have more multi-line requisitions open, they would be shown here. But now we are going to create a new one. Like mentioned during the PowerPoint slides, we have to go to the Insert button to create a new MLR. Then we have to provide a customer code. We click on the three-dotted icon and we choose the right PCH code. Okay. Then we can change the priority and automatically the need by date will be updated. We can give it a customer reference. As an example, we can add shipping notes. As an example, I can add notes. Okay. And then I save the header. which will automatically provides a requisition number. By leaving the application, you will see now that there is one MLR in draft. Now, talking about statuses, we can have different statuses. For example, draft means it's still a draft and it has not been processed yet. We can have completed, that means the process has been finalized. We can have a status in error, that means one of the stock numbers is an error, maybe because this is a countable item and in PAM we have not do the installed quantity, for example, then it will be an error. So there are different statuses. In this one, it's still a draft. By double clicking on the line, I can continue with processing the MLR. So we just saved the header. Now we have to add the stock numbers. To add a stock number, we go to the Insert button. Now we see one line appearing. You click on the three-dotted icon and you can search by stock number, nomenclature, or description, however you want to call it. For example, I know my stock number starts with 7510 and ends with 14. I'm using the % sign to search. I did a right-click mouse in this area, and then you can see I have different types of stock numbers. The one that I'm looking for is with TT. It's the pen. I select it and I say OK. Now it is there in the line and I can choose the quantity I would like to order, 10. I can also see that in stock position 01, which is serviceable stock, I have 200 pens available. I can save. I can go out of the process and continue another day or even a few hours later. So this is how I can build a bigger MLR by just saving it and continue the next time I have more requirements. Now, assuming that I want to continue, I just add another line. Same process, I'm selecting a new stock number. Right-click mouse, search, now I have my second item, which is a pen for a whiteboard, and I need 20. Again, I can see I have 200 available in stock. I can add another stock number. Paper. And I need 10 of them. This is how I add stock numbers. Now, when I'm processing, I can choose to have a 1348-1 voucher, meaning I will get a printout for every individual request for each item, or I can choose to get a pick and release list. The pick and release list will be a combined printout of all the items in this MLR, and there's only one signature needed. So imagine that you have multiple stock number lines in this request. It would be beneficial to have one printout and one signature instead of a printout for all the different items. Imagine that you have 100 items in your request. Instead of printing 100 documents, you can print one complete document with all the lines combined, and only one signature is required. Now you can see the status is draft, and for the last two I entered unknown. If I go to save, all the line items are in draft. So this is my request. Before I process, I can also choose to save this MLR as a template. That means I want to reuse this requirement next time without creating a header and without choosing the stock numbers. I want to make a copy that I want to reuse the next time. So I go to save as template, and then I will give it a name. As an example, office supplies for exercises. Okay. Now I saved this MLR as a template, which I can reuse. I will show you in a few minutes how we do that. Next to saving as a template, I can also decide if I don't have enough stock, or if I want to use a different budget to replenish my stock, to choose and make a brokerage requisition next to my request. So by double clicking on one of the lines, it will open up a new screen. And by clicking the brokerage box, it will open up procurement information. And I can choose if I want to procure commercial, meaning I'm using fins to do some procurement activities. I can also choose a small purchase. So in this scenario, I will show you the small purchase. Then we have to provide a supplier, a budget, because it was for an exercise, I will use the exercise budget. And I provide a justification, replenishment, stock. So although I have stock, 50 serviceable, I do want to do replenishment using the exercise budget as an example, and I save. Also, before I save, I want to show you the option that I can add a file. Adding a file could be maybe a quotation, a picture, a drawing, anything that can support my procurement activity. By adding file, it will open up the different folders and you can choose the file from there. So that's adding of the file. Then we can save. And now you will see that the brokerage indicator is ticked, meaning besides my due out of this paper going out to the customer, I'm also replenishing my stock using the exercise budget I just chosen. So now my multi-line request is complete. I have everything I want to order. Now I go to process requisition. By clicking the button, you will see that my status on the right will change from draft to another status. To status closed. And then we have to be aware that for the brokerage requisition, there will be a join open that has to be received in C003. So what happened now is that the 3 stock numbers have been processed. The one which was brokerage was not released because there is a brokerage process in place. That means I have to do a receipt in C03. For the other 2 items, they have been released, and I have to go to B004 and do the shipment confirmation after the custodian has picked up the equipment. Now we go to show you the template. So I will leave this screen. I will close my application I have opened, and then I go to M003, multi-line requisition from template, double click, and you will see the template I have just created is available here. I can see it automatically picked the PCH code, the customer. I see the originator is NDSS, number of stock number lines is 3, and it tells me if I have PAM items in there and the date of the creation. By double clicking on the line, I am opening up the template, and I can choose to create a new requisition. What will happen is that after clicking the new requisition, I have to go to M001, multi-line requisition maintenance, and continue with the process. So you're not processing any requisitions, you are just creating a new requisition that needs to be processed in M001. Let's do that. I go out of the screen, go to M001, and now I see the template I have just processed is available for processing. I double click, and here's my new request coming from a template. I can change the shipping notes and the notes if I want to. I can change the customer reference, also the priority. I can even remove lines or add stock number lines if I want to. For example, let's remove it. I go to delete. Yes. Now I removed it. You can see the status is still draft because I didn't process the requisitions yet. I can also choose to add a new stock number, any stock number, by going to the insert button, and the process is the same as before, adding new stock number lines to your request. I can also change the quantity. So instead of 10, he needs 5 this time. I could save it. I can add stock number lines and then increase or decrease quantities. And once I finished my request, again I choose process requisition. And now the status is closed. And you can see that the stock has been updated with the requests we just entered. So this is the multi-line requisition coming from a template. So in this video, we showed you how to create a multi-line requisition, showed you how to create a template that you can reuse. We selected one stock number where we decided to do a brokerage requisition using small purchase. Again, for this one, you have to do a receipt in NDSS in the C003. The C03 process will be handled in a different video. We processed the requisitions where the status changed from draft to closed. The B04, the shipment confirmation, will be also shown in another video. So to finalize, we showed you the multi-line requisition using brokerage, using a template, and process requisition. So thank you very much for watching our video, and look at our videos that we are posting soon.